Hello guys, I'm Catfalk and welcome to another Artbox unboxing video. I'm here today with a new ScrawlrBox that I'm gonna open and make something with, so stay tuned for that. And I'm really excited about this one, and I know a few of you will really enjoy this month theme, or last month since this is April's box. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any of my Artbox unboxings or any other artsy video. ScrawlrBox is an art box that you can subscribe to and get sent home to you every month, and it's filled with delicious and lovely art supplies. I will leave a link down in the description if you want to check it out yourself. They also have a thing called a Scrawler Challenge, which is basically to create something with all the supplies that comes in the box, and they also have a theme every month to make it a little more challenging. Alright, let's open it and take a closer look on the supplies inside. But I will start with these two cards as usual, and this one tells you everything you need to know about all the supplies that comes in the box, and on the other side it tells you about the Scrawler Challenge that I mentioned earlier. And this month's theme is Manga Yourself, which will be super interesting since I'm not that into manga or anime. I drew a lot of manga myself when I was younger, but I haven't done it in many years, so yeah, this will be super fun. And the other card is made by this month's featured artist, and she's a professional manga illustrator, and her name is Mina Petrovic, if I pronounce that right. Some sweets to snack on and a sticker, and they seem to have redesigned the sticker, which is very neat. And then to the actual supplies in the box, and I will start with this graphite pencil from my all-time favorite brand to pronounce, which is Koh-I-Noor, and this is a 10H, which means that the lead is really hard and makes it easier to erase. So this is really good to use when you are sketching and need to erase a lot. And the next supply in the box is this Sakura jelly roll, and this is a white gel pen. And I'm quite familiar with this one. For many years this was my go-to supply for highlights. It doesn't work that well on top of waxy surfaces like color pencils or crayons, but on top of watercolors or markers it works really well. And the next supply in the box is another Sakura product, and this is a Pigma brush pen. And this one I'm also quite familiar with. I recently bought a bunch of these in different colors, and they got this really pointy and flexible brush nib, of course. And if you didn't know this already, I love brush pens, they are awesome and I love working with them. And next we have 3 supplies in one, kind of, and it's a set of 3 Graphmaster permanent liners. And I got them in 3 different sizes, 0.4, 0.6 and 1mm. And I guess this will be really nice to do line art with, since you can do a whole range of line weight with them. And then we have a whole bunch of these Graphmaster dual tip markers, and I got them in 3 different shades of cool grays and 1 black marker. And they also included a colorless blender pen, so I can blend all the colors or my gray shades. So these are alcohol-based markers, and they are double-ended. So at one end they got this bullet nib, and at the other end they got a wider chisel nib. And the last supplies in the box are these 2 paper sheets, and there's nothing written about them in the information card, so I don't really have any information about them. But they are very smooth and a little heavier, so they feel like they should be over 100 grams at least. That's all the supplies in the box, let's try them out! I started with trying out all the different supplies on a piece of paper to see what I got to work with, and it's a very generous box this time, 11 different supplies in total. But there's one supply that I didn't really use for this drawing, and it's the Koh-I-Noor pencil. The pencil strokes were almost not visible at all, and it's probably because it's a 10H and the graphite is really hard, which makes it look really light. And I tried using it in the beginning of the sketch, but since the lines were barely visible, I naturally pressed just a little harder, which resulted in the pencil scratching the paper, so I finished the sketch using my trusty old 2H pencil instead. For line art I'm using the Graphmaster permanent liners, and I started with the 0.4mm one, and they are alcohol based, which means that they blended a little with the other alcohol based markers, so it made the line art look a little fuzzy at some spots, but then I could just go over it again with a fine liner afterwards, so it wasn't really a big deal. They didn't smudge at all, and they didn't fade when erasing the pencil sketch underneath, as other non-alcohol based fine liners tend to do sometimes. Then to the Graphmaster dual tip markers, and I really liked them. They worked as well as any other good quality markers I've used, and they had this triangular shape so they didn't roll off the table, which I think is pretty nice. And they blended nicely and turned out very pigmented, and they looked pigmented even after they dried. With some markers, after the ink dries, the colors tend to fade a little sometimes, and it might also be the paper that makes the colors look so nice. The paper was great to draw on, too bad it doesn't say anywhere what it's called. So talking a little about this artwork, the challenge was to manga yourself, so that's what I did, and I don't know if I did a good job or not on the manga part, but I'm actually quite happy with how it turned out anyway. And of course I had to have one of my cats with me in the drawing, and I think it's Sally since she's really happy. And yes, the drawing is mirrored. I always do that mistake when drawing myself, and the proportions may be a little off as usual, but it was a super fun challenge, and I actually drew a lot of manga when I was younger, but I haven't done it in like 10 years or so now. And even if I love using a lot of colors, it was really nice working in grayscale for once, and it's a really good way to learn how to shade and such, since you don't have to worry about what colors to use. When I was done using the markers, I went over the line art again with a Sakura brush pen, and it gave the whole drawing a more vivid look. And the reason why I used it afterwards is because it's not alcohol based, and by own experience I know this pen smudges a lot when drawing with markers on top of it. And this may be my favorite ScrawlrBox so far. I loved almost all the supplies in the box, but my favorite this month has to be the Graphmaster markers and the Sakura brush pen. I will most likely use these supplies again, and my least favorite is the Koh-I-Noor pencil. It was just too hard to draw with, and I would have preferred if it was just a little softer, like 5H or something, instead of 10. Then I added details and highlights with a white Jelly Roll gel pen, making it look super shiny and sparkly, and it's one of my favorite parts when drawing, adding the highlights afterwards. It makes the whole drawing come together, I think. And I hope you liked this drawing and the video. Please leave a comment letting me know what you think. I always appreciate your feedback. Thanks ScrawlrBox for sending me this. Check out the link below if you are interested in getting a box yourself. Thanks for watching and keep drawing my happy cats. Bye!